Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and wherever you are, welcome to Dreamy Dreamland. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland. Good morning, good evening, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your sensei, Al Bob. That's me, your griot, here to tell you a story. So here I am having breakfast at one of my sites, breakfast, and always the most interesting people come and visit. And there was two young kids, Mr. Farmer and oh, I forgot what the other one was named. But I gave them a reading and we talked about deep thoughts. And I could have gone on live, but it was the first time, and I didn't want to, jump in to the World Wide Web with these characters. Because I was deconstructing their emotional. I mean, they had things. I mean, they were taking this trip from Georgia to Maine on the AT, and they were doing it for a reason, right? So it was a life changing reason. They were looking for God. They were looking for a reason. They were looking for um, understanding what their life is. They were in their early 20s, and this is a good time to do it. And so they were doing it, right? And they walked in, and they were being their robot self. And I just said a few words, and so they sat as far away from me as they could. But I just kind of looked over my shoulder and said, put your hand up. And one did, and the other one like put it under their coat. And I just gave them like, you know, 20 words that shook their life, right? And they came. That person came right over and said, read my book." So I did, and I gave it insight to many things of what. I mean, I told her what astrological site was, what her childhood was like, and all the questions she had in life, and what her passions were, and it just fell on the floor. Then I deconstructed and showed that there was 1,000 or so lines in your hand, and I only look at eight, and this is it, right? And I explained it, and she was like, and then I said, and we're all lucky because you're a sociopath, and she was, ah. And I said that for a reason because she isn't. She's an amazing child of God, but she has so many amazing things in her that from birth they were telling her that she's wrong, she's terrible, she's sinful, blah 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 blah, right? So she's been told that she's had, and she knows she's not. And so she has been brave to step up and fight and be herself. But it's taken a toll on her, and she's only 20 something, and she's like beat up like she was 70. So I said about 12 things to her that like got rid of all of that. And she started to cry and weep and sob. So this is why I didn't do it like live on the internet, because I knew this was going to happen. And so I basically thought about that person rather than, oh well, this would look good on the internet. No, and I knew that was going to happen because, again, you know, people constantly give me a hard time for being me, and I please, and then I do what I did, and then they think I'm something else, and then they get to know me and realize that no, that's not it. So um, it was. This one person who was just I think of all the 10 Commandments, the one that has the most validity and the strongest and all is basically do not have false witness against your neighbor, right? Because that fits all the other ones. Love thy neighbor. Well, you're not loving thy neighbor when you um, give false witness. Et cetera, et cetera. So the bottom line is um, this one person who is like, just talking, and they're new to the neighborhood. So I've been here 20 years. So when they start talking smack about me, people go, what? Get lost, moron. So at a certain point, this person is hornier than a dog hound. And he said, so I see you're a prayerful guy. Can you pray to God to find me a girlfriend? I said, sure, I'll put you on the pray list, right? So I basically, and say, I just don't go, hey, God, Larry needs this, and Susie needs that, and Bobby needs this. No, that's not what I do. I say, so, Laurie, tell me what I need to do to serve you about this, right? And so, the bottom line, what I got on this guy is, A, if he wants a girlfriend, he cannot continually um, getting the barfly off the floor who's on trying to shoot heroin. That's not the girlfriend he should be looking for. Even though his history of doing that is, quite long, because he knows that he can get, whatever sexual pleasure from this person by just getting them their next shot. So he needs, if he really, so I need a woman, I need someone in my life, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, okay. So God said, no, he has to look at someone different, someone who he would normally not be drawn to, right? So that's numero uno. Numero duo is that he should stop continually occupying the conversation with bullshit. Meaning, I talk a lot, but that's only because you guys don't talk at all. you know? So, I've talked, this is like on the 8th of May, it's been my 5th year of doing this. So I've been doing this for 5 years at least. And I have at least 2,000 shows. And I have talked about a lot of stuff and mostly about the big splat, right? Now, I'm not going to keep the other stories I have, right? I'm here to hear from you guys, to hear the conversation of what could mean something, right? So it's, totally up to you to basically be part of the show. And if you're not, the shows aren't going to be any longer than 10 minutes. Just give a thumbnail of what's going on. And I'll try and, and again, I didn't do a show yesterday because I wasn't around any, Wi-Fi. And no one's dumped anything into the PayPal, so I had no real money to just ride 40 miles to spend, $10 so I could use a restaurant's Wi-Fi. Today I have a bunch of things to do. So first I came to this place and I met those people, and God put me here to meet them, right? And they told me, I said, so how did you find this place? And because they've been coming from Georgia to go to Maine, right, on the AT, and it came off by a long ways, and they said, well, we were on this, and it was really pretty, and there was this nice waterfall, and so we sat by the waterfall, and then when we packed up and we went on, and I said, so I know where you're talking about, so why didn't you just, stay there overnight? That was a great place to camp. I camped there. It's a great campsite. And they said, well, it showed that, from that point on, it was going to be straight up a mountain. I said, well, baby, the next, 200 miles you have is going to be up and down and up and down and up and down, straight mountains. You're caught between in the accordion between the Appalachian and the Blue Ridge. Lots of mountains. And so but that was a beautiful sight. You should have stayed there. And so she goes, I don't know. We just came down the other side and kind of camped in this. You camped in that place? Oh, that's like the garbage dump compared to. She goes, yeah, it smelled bad. I said, well, obviously you came down here to meet me, and it was obviously they did. So I did, and I had a nice long talk with them. Gave them a ton of stuff to think about. And again, you want to talk to me, change your life. Just get a hold of me at the dudeawake42 at Gmail, dudeawake42 at Gmail, all one thing, small, not big type, small type, the dude awake 42 at Gmail, right? And if you Google Docs, I'll send you my novels. And if you read those, it'll change your life. Otherwise, you can read a few paragraphs. Oh, it's too hard. It hurts my head. Or you can read it and not get anything from it because, he didn't spell this right, you know. Anyway, so 10 minutes and 10 seconds, and I'm out of here. Love you guys. I'll probably come back this afternoon around 2ish. See what you have, you know, brought to the discussion. And that's what this is going to be. From now on, I'm not going to be on more than 10 minutes or so in the earlier part of the day. And I will come back in the latter part of the day and see if anyone comes on to have a discussion. And if no one comes on within the next, you know, that part of the day's show, no one's there within 10 minutes. See you later. Bye.